seconds of just going down the runway. He's fine. As you see on the front, we're in the Islander, which is VP Mike Charlie, which is the new Islander that come down not quite a year ago, maybe a year ago. Anyway, we got all the way to where we were heading, which I was going to do a video of some bits around there, and then I was going to post it on Monday for you. But sadly, when we got there, it was foggy and misty, come in too thick, we couldn't land. So we had another half-an-hour flight all the way back. Waited to see if the flight would happen, and it hasn't done. We've just been told that it's not getting prepared until tomorrow, which sort of sucks really, because it means we would have had a full day tomorrow and we get back on Sunday. This day we're going to be flying there. Hopefully we get on the first flight, have half a day, and then get on the last flight on the Sunday. But you don't get to choose what flight you're on. So if we're on late flight Saturday and early flight Sunday, it's going to suck a little bit. But hey ho, it is what it is. Got a nice flight in the Islander, so I can't complain. Could say a free flight as such, but it's one of those things. Anyway, so getting back onto this shaft, we have ordered the bearing. It turned up here from 4 bearings, I think it was. We got it from. It's part number 6003RS, I think it is. There was another version. The actual part number come in, it meant it only had 1 seal on one side, so I ordered the dual seal on either side. These are stainless steel bearings, supposedly. they're that stainless steel that they rusting. But I'm wondering if it doesn't mean that the internal parts are stainless steel. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, it's only for a steering shaft, so it's not going to happen. Anyway, this is it here. This is the coupling on here. So what the plan is here is we're going to weld this coupling onto there. But before we do that, we're going to knock all this off. Make sure, put this bearing right on nice and snug. And then make sure that when we knock this on, we've got enough to weld onto there. We're going to weld in that all together. And then, as you're aware, we're then going to cut this shaft and extend it with a piece of pipe. Then we've got to find something to extend that shaft. And in the back of the Rover, I have the proper steering boxes, and we're going to work it out from there. But because I've had a bit of a fucked up day, I've been guddling around with injector pipes. So sadly, I can't get the proper injector pipes, like my 10 series ones. I have got them cleared out and I have got fuel going through them, but I'm just not confident enough to put them on with a new injector pump and new injectors. I'm going to keep them as they are a get me out of trouble free card. So I've been tinkering around with these. So I've managed to get this set to fit on. Actually, not too bad. Pretty tight on sort of here, but I don't think it's going to vibrate anyway. So we've got all them on. This is the last one we've got to fiddle around with. And then I've just got to put the fuel filled housings on and sort all that out, and then bolt the starter motor up onto here. Check the clearance for the starter motor, and then we'll be sorted. Sorry it's backwards, but I'm using the camera on the front of the thing. So out of 1 and 2, 3 intake manifolds, not one thing would fit. The intake manifolds would fit, apart from one of them had the wrong bolt pattern, and the other one, wrong bolt pattern, and it had no blanks for the water jackets that were in between each of these thing. As you can see, it has like a sort of a gap, I don't know if you can see, cut into each one of these. So I needed one of these basically in every single port, and it has them grooved out on here, so I couldn't use them. The other one has exactly what I want, but it's a smaller diameter for this, and I've been told these manifolds is what they'd fit to like a 7610 that has a turbo. This is an original manifold for this head, and not this block, but originally for that engine that I'm aware of. So I've managed to get a piece of rubber that goes on there, and then we've got to find pipe that will go onto here and then go up to the 10 series intake. With all the collection of pipes I've got, I'm hoping I can sort of rig something out. But anyway, so that's how we're getting on so far with that. For everything else, we have got, I'll turn the camera around. For this, we've got to take the engine out of this. This is literally, the engine literally just needs to have its engine mounts unbolted and it's ready to come out. As you can see, there is no gearbox. A chap needed a clutch and I told him he can have the clutch, but he had to take the gearbox out to do it. So it meant I already got a gearbox. I'm also going to be taking this off because I want to keep that spare. Might not fit my one, but I'd like to keep it spare just in case it does. So that's the plan with that as well. What we'll do is we'll take it off, make a blanking plate to go up over it and sort it out that way. That gearbox goes to the chap. All this hydraulic stuff I'm keeping because it's all solenoid operated, apart from the 2 solenoids that have been rubbed off there that I've only just noticed. So I'm guessing he took them as well for his one, which is no bother by me if it works. I did say to him he could help himself. So I'll keep these other ones, and I'll keep these manifolds anyway. Hydraulic tank, I want to keep that, and the front axle comes off. I might keep the front springs, even though they're different to mine. It might still get me out of trouble, but the front axle is no good to me. The wheels are going to go onto the back of that one, and then one of the rims will go on for a spare. And then all we have to do then is just cut this drawbar, bend her in, and we're sorted. So to make sure we get this 100% center when we do it, because you don't want your drawbar off to one side, we're going to measure the distance in between here and here. We're then going to cut this, and hopefully that won't spring out anymore. And then cut this off, and then we can bend this in and use that as our center point to bend it in. And then once we get this to where we want it, we can then do that. If not, the other thing we could do is we will have it stationary and make up a template thing. Other than that, yard's getting clean. That is now booked into another garage to get its overboost sorted. We've got all this stuff to take out to the farm as soon as it's done. Then we have got also, for the joys, we have also got 2 engine blocks under there. Yes, 2 engine blocks. Sure, it's 2. Could even be 3. No, it's 2. So that one's standing up on its end. So we've got another 2 engine blocks under there that need to be rebuilt. But we're not doing them in here. So they're going to go out to the farm. This shed's going to get completely everything taken out of here, and everything's get moved to the farm. So it does mean that things will be slowing down a little bit on that sort of side. But being that once this engine's done, everything else, and the steering box is done, everything else I need to do would be on the tractor itself. So that sort of is where we were over that. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, rate and subscribe. Sorry it's not much, but we will keep you up to date as soon as we get this all ready and ready to go. This isn't going to have its first start here. I'm actually taking this to my uncle's place, and its first start's going to be at my uncle's place, because I was with him when he first started his rebuild engine. So I think it'd be nice for him to be here when I start this one. The only thing it might have problems with is the retarding and advancing the pump slightly. I did set it to 19, and I think someone said it's either 19 or 18, and we weren't really sure which one was which, so we might have to alter it slightly. But that's just a case of popping that cover off there and just setting the timing and altering it. We've still got to fill the pump up with oil and the engine up with oil. The reason why it's not been done yet is because everything's got that assembly lube in it, and as long as I can leave it stationary, the better. We are then going to be taping up a few little things. Once this engine is all sorted, we're going to be making a frame for it to sit on. I've got one part of a frame sitting out there, and then I'm going to make hopefully another one to sit on there with a couple of standers, so it's not actually sitting on its sump. And then we are going to spray paint the whole thing, and then we'll fit the alternator and all that on. We will not be fitting the power steering pump, because we're going to be test running it. Plus I've got to strip and clean all that, and then we'll be fitting that up afterwards, because there's no point me fitting that until I've got the steering sort of bearing and sorted. So, and it's just a case of unbolting the cover and bolting it on. So, but that's how it is so far with that. So we are getting there slowly. I've got an ordinary exhaust for it before we do its first start, because I think it would look cool if we had just an exhaust sitting on there. But if not, it would just be a piece of pipe. Starter motor's got to get bolted on. We're just going to bolt it on with a couple of bolts onto this plate here, which should be super substantial. I did start a 3-cylinder one like that before. So basically what will happen is this will get set up into here, and like so, and we'll just run a couple of bolts through those holes and just bolt it on like that. I know this is quite a loose sort of thing, but I think it would sort of fit. It's quite close to the fucking gear in there. But so that's the plan with that anyway. Now I've got to try and get that out. So hopefully we can sort of get that up and running, but I would want to get it another good spray paint afterwards. We're not running it empty. We're not starting it up without water in it. So the actual day we go to start it, even though I'll have the alternator and all that on, we will be filling it up with water, but the belt will be off it, so it doesn't pump it around. So it'll actually have water sitting in the engine, but it won't be circulating. So we can have it running for a minute or two. You can run them without having water in them for a short time, but I personally like to have water in them. And for all the time it is to take a little bit of pipe off there, so basically the radiator pipes we got, which I did have a couple lying down lower, but I can't seem to work out where they are. They must be all up high. So basically what we're going to do is, so this one here, we could just pop onto there, so it's pointing up a bit, so, and have that pipe so it's a bit higher, and stick that one on there, like so. That way it's a bit tad higher, and then we got this other one, which is for the bottom of the radiator. So this one would normally go down like that into your radiator, but we will put it on up like that, so it's a tad high. So that would go on there like so. I had contemplated on actually putting a radiator on it and letting it circulate the water, but I think just for us to have a small run, that would be more than sufficient. This water pipe is going to be to that height. It should cover all the block up, should be super duper. We are going to be running it without an air filter on, mind you, so it'll have to be a clean, nice, calm day when we do it. But so we got a few things to do on this, got a couple of weeks work. Sadly, I'm not going to be focused on this in the next week. Next week's project is to get that out. So by next Friday, I'd like to have that all raring and ready to go to get its hydraulic hoses made up, and then get that taken away to a thing, because I want that to be able to be parked here, across here, so I can get the boom in to pick one's engine, is the plan. So, and I want to be able to lift it up, and then I want to sit it on blocks, so that's height of the frame that I want, and then I can just make the frame to fit it. And then when I've made the frame, I was thinking about putting wheels on the frame, but now I'm thinking about not putting wheels on the frame. And I was also hoping, if I get it all done, I should be able to have it out before the winter kicks in and fired up. Then it can go out to the farm, sit in the engine, in the container, ready to be fitted to the 774, which will be hopefully the start this summer. Sadly, the generator's gone bang at the farm, so it means I'm not going to be there for the winter, so I'm not going to get nothing done. But I can get the engine sorted, I can get the steering sorted, and a few other little odds and ends. And odd weekends that we do go out, I would like to think I can get the that one stripped, and maybe the back axle all sorted out before I strip the engine off. Get all the back end done up, get the other cab off and sorted. And we've got to get this cab that's out there taken as well. So we've got loads of things to do. Not going to cost much. Good job, because I don't have any money at the moment. Truck driving stopped yesterday. Hopefully I've got some more in the next couple of weeks, for 6-7 weeks, and then after that I'm working for someone else doing some maintenance on machinery and building. So all busy and busy go. But other than that, I just thought I'd give you a little update, and I will give you a video as soon as if we get to where we're going. And also this week I'll be hopefully finalising paperwork for the little surprise that's coming, which means the reason why I'm excited about it means I don't have to rush this build, so I can do this one up a little bit better, take my time, make sure it's all prim and proper, because I was nearly getting to the point where I was going to have to go for gold and put the old injector pipes on, and with an £800 spent on that and like 40 to 50 quid spent on each injector, it sort of doesn't really make it justifiable. Then you got your 500 quid for your engine rebuild kit, your 200 quid for your boring and putting the new liners, and then I had to order some main bearings. I then had to get another block. So I've spent probably a good close to, with new hoses and all the other little odds and ends, close to about 15 to 1800 quid rebuilding this engine, and I've replaced anything that doesn't meet spec. In fact, I've replaced everything, even if it did meet spec. I've replaced it, except water pump. That's not new. That's a second-hand water pump, because I forgot to order one. But that water pump is in good nick, and I'm not too worried about the water pump because it doesn't have any play in it. But it's something that's easy to change. It doesn't matter if that goes, you can change it. If something goes internally, that's when I'd worry. So yeah, we're all good to go. She still turns. Yep, that's the main thing. And we'll see how we get on from there. So enjoy, have fun.